Good evening, and we're live. And welcome to episode 4 of the 2017 Vegan Hour with David Freeman from Freemans Organic Farm. Thank you for joining me tonight, David.
My pleasure, Glenn.
Now, we're just going to let you guys get online, and I am just going to make sure that everything is working technically right here. So I'll just check some things on my computer whilst people are coming online. And okay, looks like we are live there. We've got a little pixelation which will clear up in a minute, which is fine. We'll just leave that there. Okay, now, whilst you guys are coming online, I'm just going to go through the formalities. This is Tuesday, January the 31st. This is the last, it's unbelievable, isn't it? The last day of January of 2017 already. It's just, where has it gone? It's amazing. Mitchie, thank you for joining us. Tanya, thank you for joining us. I just want to do a couple of shout outs. I want to upfront thank my sponsors, Vegan Frothers and Burleytown Storage. And I also want to mention some events that are coming up this Saturday. So we have 3 events on this Saturday that I'm going to mention. There's the Beach Clean, Sea Shepherd Beach Clean at 9 a.m. at Surfers Paradise. So there's that one happening there. Then at 12 noon, there's the Vegan Life Yum Cha Lunch at Easy House Restaurant at Mermaid Beach. And then at 6 p.m. that night, there is the presentation on animals' rights and activism at Loving Hut, Brisbane. So that is the events coming up this Saturday. And also we have a giveaway, which I will mention I will show you at the end of the night, the Prana On giveaway. I'll show you the products and that for that. So, but we'll get straight into it with David because I've posted a promotional video earlier this week. Had a lot of views. Last time I checked, it had nearly 800 views.
Really?
Yeah. So people are keen to find out who you are and what Freeman's Organic Farm's all about, and your vegan awakening, as I call it. And Elle, thank you for joining. Elle's one of our supporters. It's always watching. We get to see notifications of who's coming up on the screen there. So tonight, as people ask questions and people want to know things about yourself and that, I'll just relay it to you and we'll take it from there. Yeah. So I want to find out, and people watching want to find. And Elle says, "Hi David, hi Harry, good to see you both." Thank you, Elle. Chris, thank you for joining us. I want to find out a little bit about. Well, I already know, but I want you to share a little bit about who David Freeman is, the background that you come from, and then this will integrate also in with the farm and that as well. So yeah, tell us a little bit. Who is David Freeman?
Yeah, David Freeman is a 4th generation farmer who went away to study law and then joined the military as a military lawyer. But before I studied law, I actually studied agriculture. I had a year off, came back to my parents' or the family estate, and I leased some land and I grew organic veggies, broccoli and sweet potato. So from a long-haired 18-year-old, 19-year-old, I always loved veggies growing on that red soil. I knew how good they were, and I guess I've gone full circle after my unremarkable military career. Then I've come back 4 years ago to change the direction of the farm into an organic farm that's multifaceted, which is also catering for my community, both with food, produce and education.
I like how you rather modestly say your unremarkable military career. When I read some of the things that you've done and some of the honours bestowed upon you, I'm like, no, it's not unremarkable, but you are a modest man.
I describe it as unremarkable, but anyway.
So Freeman's Organic Farm is very well known. A lot of my vegan friends have visited there, have spoken highly of it and of you. And the way that you've brought new life into it. And this is where you've come full circle. As a 19-year-old, you were on the land, then you headed off, you did your military career, which involved also legal aspects as well. Yes, yeah. And then now you've come back and you've seen the light.
I have. No, I have, mate.
You've seen the light.
Yeah, I've had the epiphany.
You've had the epiphany. Yes, yeah. Now, can we talk a little bit about that you actually had a health scare?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So that was part of the epiphany?
Yeah, it was. As a young army officer, as a major, I was very much into mountain climbing, and I was lucky enough to go on a few expeditions. But the 3rd expedition I went on was from the Indian Ocean to the summit of Kilimanjaro. and it was quite arduous, I guess, because we're walking.
Was that 400 kilometres?
Yeah, 400 kilometres
Wow.
across the
Wow.
Serengeti and on the equator. So carrying a 70-pound pack was a bit hot.
Wow.
That wasn't it. I'd had a pre-existing sort of rugby parachuting injury, so I think my body under great strain, I then ended up with a malignant tumour. So when I got back to Australia, my sister, who's a medico, she got a very good surgeon. We got it out quickly, but it was a malignant tumour, and they said I was going to have 12 months of chemotherapy. But I spoke to my oncologist, and he said, "Mate, you're pretty fit. Why don't you go home to your parents' farm, come back in 4 weeks, and then we'll have a look at you, and then we'll start the chemo then." So I came back to the farm with my love of broccoli and carrots, and I talked to a very good dietitian at Royal Prince Alfred in Sydney before I came back.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ate carrots and broccoli and drank that clean water up at the farm, and when I got back to Sydney in a month, they did my blood test, and there was an ounce of cancer in me.
This is fantastic. This is amazing. So 1 month of carrot juice and steamed broccoli. Yeah. There you go, folks. That's what you need for your malignant tumours. And that really sort of flooded the system with the nutrients and the vitamins and minerals and whatever that it needed. I mean, were you eating anything else, or you were strict on?
No. I was having conventional food, whatever my mum was cooking.
Okay.
But I made sure that I was having carrot juice probably 6 times a day. In fact, I had so much carrot juice, part of my olive skin, I went orange.
Yeah.
And I had a very positive belief. I believed that I would beat it, and I did. And I became a believer in good, healthy, organic produce or produce grown on farms, because I know that food is like medicine, medicine is like food. Yes,
which I was reading that sign when I was up there at the farm. That sounds familiar. So was this the start of an awakening to head towards an entire plant-based diet? Was this?
Well, it's actually this chap here. When I got out of the army, when I got out of the army, I was fortunate enough to meet Shane and Simone, Shane Simpson and Simone, who sponsored this. And I just brought Shane a gift because he had my stuff here out of storage out of the army. And so one time I just brought them some avocados and fruit. And then we started talking, and he said, "Oh, you got an organic farm?" I said, "Yes, I've just started it." And he had the restaurant, so I supplied him for a while. But it was Shane and Simone who slowly sown the seed.
Good on you,
Shane and Simone.
Good on you.
And then when Ethan Patterson, another high-profile vegan, came to work for me about 4 months ago, he sort of he said, "Mate, why don't you give it a go?" And I said, "All right, well, look, on the 1st of December I will." And so I've been true to that. And my health is better.
Good, big shout out to you, Ethan. I know I haven't seen your name pop up watching tonight, but there's another. So Shane, Simone, and Ethan, fantastic. Look what you've done.
Yeah, they have. They're the reason.
And that is awesome.
They're the reason.
Okay, so it's early days. How you been feeling? What's?
Mate, after I did tours of Timor, Iraq, Afghanistan, so I had both physical and mental injuries.
Yes.
But I've found that since I've been on a vegan diet, that I have much better mental clarity. I have a mega smoothie in the morning. I feel I've got more energy. And so my health, I can only say, is better. Especially my mental health. So I'm going to stick to it.
Thank you for everyone that's watching. I see lots of little hearts and likes going across the screen, which means they like what you're saying.
Thank you.
So very positive responses there. I like that. That's great. This is the beauty of doing the live stream. You know, you get the interactivity. People are actually responding to what you're saying, which is great. So
can they see us? Are we on?
Yes.
Oh, they can. Oh, so they can see us.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They see.
Howdy, everyone.
What we're seeing there is what they're seeing.
Is that lovely Elle who's from South Australia? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, right. Hi, Elle. How are you?
She's wonderful. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, a big supporter of the Vegan Hour is Elle. So, another friend of mine, Tony, is watching, and another very good friend of mine, Yana, is watching. I'm going to do a shout out just for you, Yana. Yana Yoga Studio and Vegan Life. There we go. We've got the two of them.
What's on the other side there?
There we go. See Yana Yoga Studio. Oh, that's Yana from Yana Yoga. Yeah, doing a yoga pose that I will never be able to do.
Well done, Yana.
If I do it round, if I put it round that way, and there's one for the YouTube camera. Okay, so we've done all that, and Sharon's watching as well. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Now. The smoothie, you do this smoothie in the morning, don't you?
Yeah.
So can you tell us what you put in there?
Well, Ethan Patterson, who works for me, he takes 26 kilograms of bananas a week from our farm. I'm not quite that extreme. Where he has 12 in his smoothie, I have about 5.
Okay.
Then I have organic nut milk or rice milk or macadamia
Nice.
milk.
Yeah.
Then I put in my hemp, my organic hemp, the oats, and goji berries.
Yes.
And so that's my what I call my super smoothie.
Super smoothie.
That
Yeah.
gives me the energy and the sustenance for a hard day's work at the farm.
Yes, and you put in some long hours there, don't you?
I can do 13, 14 hours.
Yeah. I can't even, I can't do that. Elle says, yes, it's me. She says, hi, David. And says, thanks to you both for your beautiful words. So there you go.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely to see you. Are you back from Adelaide yet?
No, she's still down there,
Okay.
as far as I know. Yeah.
Right, safe travels on your way back.
And Hannah has joined us. Hannah was a guest on the show last year, and she is one very fit vegan.
Is she?
There's a few fit vegans around, isn't there? Yeah.
James,
James Aspie?
yeah, and
Yes.
3 other girls all cycled up yesterday to the farm, so I gave
Okay.
him some free
Yeah.
veg.
Yeah. James cycled.
Yeah, he cycled all the
I've
way.
never seen him
yeah.
cycle.
Cycled all the way up to the
Oh,
farm.
wow, that's awesome.
It was hardcore.
That's good.
Well done, James.
Yeah, why aren't you watching, James? He's actually been on the show twice. So. Now, I'm absolutely, and a lot of people are absolutely amazed that Freeman's Organic Farm has been going 102 years. That is, I mean, that's a record, isn't it?
Well, I suppose so. There's no other farm going that old in Currumbin Valley left.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 4 generations and over a century.
Fantastic. It's fantastic because at one stage, if we go right back that far, there was in the early 1900s, Currumbin Valley area was well known for having banana farms.
Absolutely,
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think after World War II, when my father got home, I think there was 2,000 acres of bananas and 4,000 acres of dairy. So it was 6,000 acres of cultivation at the height of the peak of Currumbin Valley. Yeah.
Wow. So, and Luba says, hello, Harry and David. You've met Luba?
Yeah, hello, Luba.
So she's watching as well, so that's cool. We're all friends here. That's good. We are. So,
Spasiba.
there we go. The Russian's going to start now. Hannah says hi. We can read comments here as well. Yeah, we can read whichever's easier for you. They pop up here. So yeah, we can sort of go from one to the other.
Oh, there's Luby.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, still here. Thanks, Steve. It's good.
She's still there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so there you go. Now, so how big is Freeman's Organic Farm? You know, it's more than, is it 50 acres or something?
No, the original farm's 150 acres.
150 acres,
Yeah,
yes.
we've got about 30 acres of cultivation now.
Okay, now, I think you've got, you were saying, is it 70 different types of fruits and vegetables and that growing there now?
Yeah, I've got 70 different tropical fruits, subtropical, temperate fruits, vegetables and herbs. But I'm going to try and expand that to 100. So I'll have fruit trees from the tropics, subtropics and temperate areas, which will be in season 12 months of the year. And my aspiration is that the walk that we do down the farm, I'm going to call it the botanical walk of health.
Excellent, because you give these farm, that's the farm tours you give, isn't it? Yeah, so you walk down the hill, through the farm. Yeah. How long does the tour go for?
It takes about an hour. I run them every Sunday, but I've had other private groups. I've had schools, university students from Singapore, private schools from Singapore, local high schools, primary schools who come and do it, as well as some we had some international executives do a private tour with me about a week ago.
Excellent. Yeah. So there's a lot of interest in the organic side of it. Is that what's the interest is coming from?
I think so. Do we go by Glenn or Harry?
And Luba says placebo back.
Yes, placebo. Look, the organic industry is growing at between 16 and 20% in Australia. So people are very aware of and want good, clean food. They want to know it's nutrient dense. They want to know that it hasn't been sprayed with chemicals. And they don't trust the supermarkets anymore. So if they can buy from a farmer who's growing it organically or growing it cleanly without spray. And because of that beautiful rich volcanic soil we've got, we draw up 17 trace elements and minerals. So our produce is nutrient dense.
Yes.
And I might have given. Do you want me to give an example
on the brick scale?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Please do.
So when
I knew we were leading there.
Well, no, if you want to. So if you go to the supermarket and buy a perfect looking hydroponic lettuce, which is just grown in cotton wool and chemicals, its nutrient density, there's a measure called the Brix meter, which measures the nutrient density of a plant, or the sap, the sugar. A hydroponic lettuce from the supermarket will go 2 on the Brix meter. Some of the lettuce I've grown up there because I'm doing a diploma of organic farming over at Wallingboa, and we use Southern Cross University at Lismore to get our soil tested and whatever. Some of my vegetables are tested 20 on the Brix meter,
which is
10 times. Yeah,
10 times the nutrients.
Yeah,
and it's the maximum that you can.
Yeah, so 20
yes.
is the aspiration. I mean, if you can get between 14 and 20, that's fantastic. But some of my lettuce have gone 20, so that is drawing up all those.
That's where you want to be getting your lettuce from, guys.
Yeah,
that's got a big heart came up for that one. Freeman's Organic Farm. Compared to what you might be getting in the supermarkets, you're going to be getting nutrient-dense organic food
without any spray, without any chemical residue.
Yep. Big difference. Yeah.
There is, because the chemical conventional agriculture, unfortunately, there's a cumulative effect of heavy metals, and they build up in your gut over time. So that is a disadvantage of what we call conventional chemical agriculture. Yeah,
and you can get away with eating that way for a while, but the longer you do it, the more damage you've done, the more you've got to detox, to get yourself back to a state of reasonable health again. So Serena is watching. Thank you for joining us, Serena. So the farm has always been operational in the whole time.
Yes.
It's just that it wasn't as active as it is today.
Yeah, I mean, my father, it was a big farm in the 1915 when my great-great-uncle pioneered it. He had 100 acres of bananas and he was producing 2.5 million kilograms of bananas a year. So it was the largest commercial banana farm in Australia in the 1910s and 1920s, probably up to World War II, I'm not sure. But when Dad came back, he got 150 acres and he was growing about 50 acres of bananas and avocados and custard apples. But he's 91 now, so I've come back with a new enthusiasm, and I've broadened the remit on the farm. And I was very passionate about taking it down that organic path, because even though we weren't organic before I got home, we had never used chemicals, we never used insecticides or fungicides on our fruit.
Right.
Probably because we were lazy farmers, or we just didn't like it. It grew so well on the red soil.
I was going to say, probably didn't need it, did it? Yeah.
And we practiced mulching and organic manures. So I've just taken that next step where we do everything by the textbook.
Yes, okay. And Hannah says she loves Freemans, and she says hi to David. You may have, if she's probably been up there, you may have met her, or you might know her if you saw her, but you're not going to be able to see from that profile picture because it's too small. But
hello, Hannah.
Anyway.
Thanks for coming up, Hannah.
Yes. And it's quite busy there on the weekends, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of support.
One time we had 500 people on a Sunday.
Where do they all park?
Well, they come in.
Oh, not 500 in one hit.
No, through the day.
Through the day, yeah.
I got 65 car parks now, so.
Okay, I didn't realise it was happening there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. And not only that, but you've got a view to die for.
It's above average.
How many people can say that they've got not only a view to die for, but their name on the lookout, the Arthur Freeman lookout? That is awesome. That is awesome. Was Arthur how far back does Arthur go? Was he the first?
My great grandfather was Harold, and his brother was Arthur.
Right.
But there were 7 brothers, 2 were dentists, 4 were engineers in Fiji, and Arthur was the head stockman of the Badalla estate.
Right.
But he went to Fiji in 1907 and he started growing and exporting bananas from Fiji to Australia. Okay. But it was World War I which interrupted him because the Australian government requisitioned his 3 cargo ships to send troops to Gallipoli.
Yes.
So he had to sell up his business in Fiji.
Yeah.
And that's why he came out and found the land where we are now to grow bananas in Currumbin Valley.
Now, while I'm talking to David tonight, if you've got any questions, guys, about the organic farming, about Freeman's, where it is, when it's open, anything like that, please throw your questions at us, because you've got the opportunity now whilst we're chatting, or even some really wobbly questions that I can't think of. Throw them at us. Don't just keep throwing little like symbol. Well, I like the little white thumbs and hearts as well. But give us some woolly questions and we'll go from there. So, yes, actually the notifications you're reading there are on a separate thing coming in. Yeah,
right.
not yeah. So we'll get, well, yeah, the questions will come up there or they'll come up here. So, and at the moment we've just got Serena saying, hello, Harry, and your guests, and fascinating. And it is fascinating, isn't it?
Right.
So,
So we all enjoyed the mangoes, bananas, and avocados.
okay, I didn't even say that. And taste them, yeah, your mangoes, bananas, and avocados are the best. I didn't even say that. Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, I think Elle, she was on her way to Adelaide, so she called in and she was able to get some fruit before she went.
She's usually on her way somewhere. But she is another example of a very compassionate, at peace vegan.
Very much.
You know? Yes.
Very much.
So you've had quite a support from the vegan community by the sounds of it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was almost trying to get a sign to say vegan friendly. How do I do that?
I reckon Shane could whip you up in one in no time.
Yeah.
He whipped this sign up pretty quick. Yeah. So I reckon, like he's got the contacts.
Oh, yeah, he's got the contacts.
That's Shane from Vegan Frothers. If you want a cruelty-free shirt or a sign, Shane will whip you up the shirt and the sign in no time. So shout out to Vegan Frothers for their cruelty-free clothing. So did you have some other things you wanted to share with us tonight? That's talking about the farm. I mean, I'm just opening it up to, without asking you any questions at the moment. Anything?
Look,
the history of the farm or the direction that you're heading in, because the next thing I wanted to ask you was sort of future plans and that down the track, and
what I like to, where I see the farm going is that I've sort of, I'm still expanding with my production because the nice thing is that demand is outstripping supply at the moment. But what I've got, I think, is a unique geographical position where we're close to the Gold Coast with rich fertile soils that I want to start actually running courses in how to grow organic veggies and fruit trees, because we are actually, I've harnessed a group of very clever individuals, some of my teachers from Wallingborough College, and Graham Sate, who's a very clever nutritionist. So I want to do the link between growing clean, highly nutrient-dense food, but the health benefits to us as humans. And that's the constant link. Everything I do, there's always a link of a health benefit.
That's good. Yeah, that's excellent. Because as good as it is to be doing things for ethical reasons, for saving the planet, for saving the animals, it's always a strong component back to us personally. There's always almost a selfish component of how it's helping ourselves. Because it'd be very unusual for somebody to not want to have that desire to be, looking after themselves. So Mitchie says, well, let's just hang on, let's just read. I'll just do a little adjustment here, and we'll read it off this. Okay, good. Yes, please do. Mitchie says, would love to do workshops for growing soul food. He's called it soul food. That's good. Let's see. Wish I knew about your farm when I lived on the Gold Coast, Jeanette said. And are you growing a lot of greens at the moment, Mitchie has asked.
Mitchie, we've got kale, lettuce, collard greens. We're just planting, we're just between seasons, so we're getting the land prepared to grow broccoli, kale, silver beet, rainbow chard, snow peas. So we're just in that transition period. We've got some greens, kale, broccoli and lettuce at the moment, but we'll have a lot more greens by the May, June and the winter months when we grow all the winter greens.
Greens are coming up rapidly, and they will be green.
Yeah, and they squeak on your teeth. They're so fresh.
That's good. That's a good slogan. They squeak on your teeth. You've got to remember that one. Now, Freeman's Organic Farm, because of, I guess, what you went through personally with your health scare, has a nice offer for people that are also having health issues, cancer related. Yes. So would you like to tell us about that?
Yes. Since I started back, I was approached. There was this English minister. Actually, he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he married a Filipino lady. In the Philippines, they use custard apple or soursop leaves to help cure cancer with great results. So he rang the Australian Custard Apple association, and they put him onto us, and so I supplied him with free custard apple leaves for about 3 years. He was only given 6 months to live, but he lived another 3.5 years. But over the last 3.5, 4 years, I've probably had 30 people come to me, and I give them free pawpaw and custard apple leaves, so they can make up a custard apple tea and drink that. And I can't claim it does, but there is some anecdotal medical evidence that the active ingredients in soursop and custard apple, which are the same botanical family,
Right.
there's some research says that the active ingredients in that are 10,000 times stronger than the chemicals they use in chemotherapy.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and have you come across, I think, was it beetroot was meant to be another good one for cancer, I think?
Yep.
Yes, beetroot leaves,
Yep.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one I'd read about as well.
Yeah. And you know, even the banana, iron tryptophan, live serotonin levels, helps fight breast cancer and bowel cancer. The avocado seed, if you smash it up and put it in your smoothie, that's allegedly got anti-cancer qualities.
The avocado seed.
Yeah.
Okay. Smashing up an avocado seed would not be particularly easy, would it?
You need a hammer, or you need...
I was going to jokingly say a hammer, but you actually literally do.
Yeah.
Okay. I was jokingly going to say it. So the tea is just made by boiling the leaves?
Yeah, you just bring the water to the boil.
Yeah.
I give people about a month's supply of custard apple leaves.
Yeah.
And you get a big 5-litre pot, just bring it to the boil, let it simmer for 8 minutes. It's got a very nice aromatic smell. It's almost like a peppermint or a herb
Oh,
tea.
nice.
And people then just put them in 5 1-litre screw tops, and they've got just drink a litre of that through the day, have a glass in the morning tea, lunch. It's actually the pawpaw is not so pleasant, but the custard apple tea is actually quite a pleasant herb fruit tea.
Okay.
It's got a lovely odour, and it's not unpleasant.
That's good. So there you go, guys. Freeman's, I mean, if somebody approaches you and says, I've been diagnosed with cancer or that they just need to talk to you, I guess, and and you'll sort them out to try and help them become healthy again.
I don't make money out. I give them the leaves for nothing, because I want to help them on the journey to recover and beat it, because I think they can beat cancer like I did naturally through clean fruit and vegetables.
Yes, that is awesome. That is fantastic. Now, Chris says he loves the history, the history of Freemans, and he also says organic is best, which of course it is. And lots of people saying yum yum and you, which they're saying yum yum as in what you were talking about with the greens and that coming up. Responding to that, just saying. Serena says yum yum, Mitchie says you. So I think they're all positive comments, all funky positive comments.
Right.
Now, what we haven't talked about, or haven't gone into more in depth, is you brushed lightly on some of your experiences in the military, and I thought, did you want to expand a little bit on some of the area there as well? As you head off in a slightly different direction. So we. Because I found it amazing when you talked about that you walked across 400 kilometres of Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. You actually helped save the life of a Norwegian mountaineer or something on Mount Kilimanjaro as well. Do you mind telling us about that one? Because
well, when you climb Kilimanjaro, you have to get up at midnight to get up there before the first light.
Yes.
Because you'll notice from all those pictures or travel brochures that there is a cloud comes in and settles over Kilimanjaro from dawn. So you've got to get off the mountain very quickly. Otherwise, you're up in the cloud, and the visibility is very poor. So we were the last. I was with an Australian Army group. We were the last people on the summit, but as we were coming back, another colleague and in fact the chap had walked from the ocean with me, I found a Norwegian blue in a coma in the ice.
Jeez.
And so he was a big chap, he was about 100 kilograms, so he was barely conscious, so I got him up and I carried him down for 4 hours to Kibo Hut when his guide came out and said,
we'd given up on him?
Yeah, we'd given up. So
they really had. They'd literally given up on him.
Yeah. So
wow.
So, but as he came down from 19,500 feet to 15,000 feet, he started to acclimatise and get a bit more conscious. But anyway, I brought him down. Otherwise, he would have been up there, and I don't think he would have made it through till the next day.
That's pretty impressive. Is that at the heights you're talking there? That sounds pretty high. We're talking oxygen masks and that at that height.
No, but you are struggling.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, at 17,000 feet, you've got half the Earth's atmosphere. So at 19,500 feet, you're probably about 40% of the Earth's oxygen. So you're struggling, and people get hypoxic. This guy's blue.
Yes.
So
yeah.
he had severe altitude mountain sickness.
James Aspey is watching. I just see, and he says, David, you the man. Thanks for the hookup with the crew. Your delicious fresh fruit yesterday. So there you go. And Al.
James, you're the man. I'm just a farmer.
And Elle also said it's amazing, well done on helping that Norwegian mountaineer and saving his life and carrying him back down. Did you say 100 kilo?
Yeah, it was 100 kilos. I was only 79, so I was struggling.
I'd be rolling him down the hill. Kicking him in. Geez, that's amazing. Chris says, thanks for sharing all the health benefits of organic produce for cancer and other things that I just missed it. James says, I missed the story. Fill me in next time I see you.
There's three other mountains to tell you about, James.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you could talk for hours and hours and hours about just some of the things that you've done. I mean, you've had such amazing worldly experience. I mean, I was reading, details of your life and how you've been to Iraq and Afghanistan and East Timor and peace missions, and how you've been awarded many medals and honours and that for the different missions that you've been on, and the work that you've done with was it the UN and Red Cross, which is just it's pretty damn impressive. And then you've sort of had that reawakening of maybe, could I say, of what's really important in life after all that. Is that fair to say that?
Yeah, no, it's fair. Yeah. I mean, I had a military career. I did some stuff, but I've always destined to be a farmer and grow good produce and live in Currumbin Valley and share. I mean, I just see myself as a steward of that land. I'm very privileged that my family has this farm, and I want to make it a farm for the community. That's why I have the community strawberry beds for the kids. Mm-hmm. So kids can have their own organic strawberry plant and come and pick that up.
That's pretty cool. Did you want to explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, okay. So I got about 120 kids. So any kid who comes to the farm.
Not yours personally.
No, I have 2 legal and biological children. It cost me a lot of money.
That's the beauty of kids, isn't it?
2 beautiful sons, Charles and George. But for all the other little kids, I love teaching kids. So when the little kids come up, I let them pick their own organic strawberry, but I let them have their own strawberry plant. We write their name on a rock and on the wood. Yeah. So every weekend when they come up, they can have a look at this strawberry plant. They can pick their own strawberry. If they can't get up, we actually do a picture on Facebook and tell them your strawberry is ready for picking.
Yeah, I was actually looking at some of them, saying a list of names and saying your strawberries are ready for pickup. Yeah,
it's interesting to see the 120 different modern names people call kids these days.
Yes. Yeah. So any come to mind that are, that you could rattle?
Harrow, Luca.
Where's the
Zion?
Where's the names like
Jarrah?
Yeah, right. Where's the names like Brian and Barry and and David? Where's the names like that? They don't exist anymore. They don't. We're in a different world. Serena's just posted a whole heap of strawberries and love hearts on the comments there, which is very appropriate. So there's a lot of
thank you, Serena.
So there's a lot of community involvement with Freemans, isn't there? You're getting the kids are finding out about the benefits of organic food. Yeah. And then there's helping out cancer sufferers. Yeah. And then there's actually just working more and more to have more produce there available that is going to be really, really healthy for people.
Yeah, and the farm tour and the education is also,
that's right, of course.
Is actually exposing and then taking people through a farm, explaining, the soil and how we enrich it, the compost, the nutrient, the cycling,
So there's the farm tour, there's and you want to in the future also be educating people on how to do the organic farming and that yourself.
Run a 2-day workshop on a weekend, and the other part is that the farm's been used for charitable. I mean, the reason I got this on tonight is that I've just come from a meeting, so I'm sorry I'm in tie and jacket. But
it's good. It's about time we had a guest wearing a tie. It doesn't happen enough.
Yeah. So the farm put on a big concert, an opera, actually 2 years ago, where we raised $20,000 for medical research for the Institute of Glycomics at Griffith University, which also looks into the cures for cancer. So we've also run a number of concerts at the farm to raise money for charity for medical research over the years. So I intend to do that in the future as well.
Excellent. Yeah. And that I believe the concerts were at the actual old, what do you call the old farmhouse?
Yeah, the homestead.
Right? The homestead. Yeah. The homestead, which is slightly down the hill from the actual section that the public sees when they drive in and buy their fruit and veggies.
When people do the farm tour,
they get to
the walking tour, we walk back around the homestead and the garden. Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, so I didn't know that. So it's Harry doesn't know everything.
You get yours free of charge, Harry.
Yes. Thank you. That's wonderful. So guys, there's I'm just looking. We've got about 20 minutes left to go tonight. So what else can we talk about? Freeman has. I mean, there is. I'm sort of. There is so much. You have so much history that if we start going off on different stories, we might be there forever. I did want to stay more. I mean, we can talk about your military side, but I think we've sort of discussed the background and that there. There's no need to sort of really go into all the details and that there. But I'm interested also academically. You're a very smart man. I mean, I just went, I don't know what half of this means when I'm reading this. You're actually, so you have degrees in law, is it? Yeah. And you combine that with military. So you did it. You were in the army and you're doing your law degree.
No, I did my law degree first, then I was a judge's associate. Was admitted as a barrister.
Right.
And then I then did postgraduate study at Sydney University in criminology. So then when I went into the military, I did prosecuting in the courts martial.
Oh, yes.
I was lucky enough to get a scholarship. I did a Master of International Relations and then a Master of International Law. The Army gave me a scholarship because the General liked me and he thought I'd done a good job. So I was a very
I'm sure you did.
I was a very lazy undergraduate, but when I got my scholarship from a Master's, I actually pulled my finger out and did a bit of study.
It would appear from your academic qualifications that laziness is not one of your problems normally. That you can pull your finger out and study.
Yeah, when I need to. So I was sort of fortunate because during my Masters of International Law, I went to Oxford for a term and studied International Human Rights Law. And that was just a year before I went to East Timor with General Cosgrove. So that was a peacekeeping mission, and the whole legal basis of that was international human rights law. So I was able to be an advisor for General Cosgrove on a lot of international human rights law issues. And then subsequently, I've done a lot of teaching at various universities in international humanitarian law and international human rights law. So I give a guest talk up at Bond University, Southern Cross Uni at Coolangatta. I've given guest lectures at Sydney Uni, Queensland Uni, QUT, University of New England, a few other places that don't pay my airfare. I don't charge anyone.
And so you lecture on humanitarian issues
I do, and I guess I give a case study of the day in the life of an operational lawyer in Afghanistan, Iraq, or Timor. So I weave in the United Nations, the international legal basis for a modern military mission that has to have a basis in international law, and then the international legal issues, which, for example, in Timor and Iraq was the drafting of the rules of engagement, the use of force, the taking of prisoners of war, where we had to treat them in accordance with the Geneva Conventions, and all those technical international law issues.
So the Geneva Conventions do still apply?
They do.
They do, yes, yeah.
There's
No,
two additional
yeah.
protocols in so there's the Geneva Conventions of 1949, the four
Yeah.
Geneva Conventions, which were rewritten after World War II. And then post the Vietnam War, there was what's called Additional Protocol 1 and 2, which were enshrined or legislated in 1977, which give greater protections to what we call non-combatants, meaning women and children who aren't part of the battle.
Now it's interesting because in some ways what we're talking about here can tie into, I mean, we're talking about the treatment of people.
We are.
Yeah. Now, going back to the vegan aspect, is talking about the treatment of animals.
Yes, it is.
And there's a definite connection here because, I mean, it's just treatment of life.
Yes.
Isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
And in fact, that even ties back into the farm because we're talking about the way you're treating your fruits and vegetables to get a better fruit and vegetable.
Quite so.
You know, you're not spraying them. You're not, you're growing them organically. So again, you're treating that life better.
We are.
So do you now that you've awakened and you're in your early stages of the vegan awakening? Do you see that that sort of connection there that with your experience and your involvement in that treating all life with the basic respect that it needs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, part of our, funnily enough, even though we're in the military, we prided ourselves that we complied with all the conventions on human rights law, and we treated all our. The truth is, the detainees in East Timor, they had hot food and warm showers before we did. We went 6 weeks without a hot shower or a hot meal. So we actually showed great compassion and fairness to anyone we took, and they were treated humanely. And in fact, when we had to arrest some Taliban, some bad murderers, and when the Red Cross, the International Red Cross, they did not have such a good relationship with the Americans, but the commander of the SAS and myself were very keen to meet the International Committee of the Red Cross, and they inspected our prisoners in Bagram prison, and so they breached confidentiality. They said, look, we never can reveal, we have to keep that impartiality, but we want to come back and report to you because not only are your prisoners were treated well, but they called you pussies because you were too soft on them. So we took that as a compliment.
So there was a degree of compassion in that.
A lot of compassion.
A lot of compassion, yes.
And that's hard on the battlefield, but
Yes,
we did.
It would be, yeah. It's. I mean, and I don't think we need to go too much more into that area because it's a tricky thing that starts dividing people. When you start talking about people have very strong opinions.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. But I just wanted to make the connection there, in which you've probably seen with your experience and involvement and observation that the connection in treating people compassionately.
Yes.
And treating animals compassionately.
Absolutely.
And it's just there's no difference.
No. No. All life should be treated compassionately.
All life, and you're doing the same with your plants. You want them to be, maximum sort of, goodness out of them. Yeah. So that's really cool. So what do we got? There was a comment there from Mike, but I couldn't even understand it, so I'm not even bothering. He mentioned something about it does not apply to Syria. That would be in relation to what we were talking about, but I'm not sure what he means by that. So I think we'll leave that one, Mike, unless you wanted to expand on it. But and Colin, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And Elle says you are a very kind and compassionate man, David. There you go.
You're a very kind and compassionate woman, Elle.
You got your fan club happening.
You're very sweet. Thank you.
That's very nice. Compliments are wonderful to receive. I had one once in 1952. No, was it? So how are we going for time? So okay, we've got about a bit over 10 minutes left. So have you given, now that you've what changes have you had to make for you personally in your life now that you've decided, okay, I'm going fully plant-based?
Yeah.
Have you found that particularly difficult, and what changes have you had to make?
No, I haven't. I mean, the thing is, I was working very long hours, so I tend to come in, and my parents, I was eating their diet, and so I was sort of dictated to by what my parents were, but I insisted, I mean, I've always had organic veggies
Mm-hmm.
every night for
Yeah.
dinner, and I force them, I brainwash them that they have organic veggies.
That's good. Yes. Yeah.
But when I, and Shane sowed the seed, and I saw how fit and strong Ethan was, and how hard he could work on the farm.
He's pretty fit, isn't he?
So I realized, because I'm doing a very hard physical job, and I was of the ignorance that I needed a more conventional diet to give me the protein and the energy.
Right.
But then when I saw how fit Ethan was, and that he was doing it from a plant-based diet,
Mm.
I realised that if I did it
Yeah.
cleverly, that I could get enough nutrition and protein.
Yep.
And it's all about self-discipline.
Mm.
And at Christmas Day, this is a big test, because my extended family are all carnivores, and they live in a big house, and they have nice food.
Yeah.
But I sat down with the other 20 people at the Christmas dinner table, where they're all having ham and chicken and meat,
Yeah.
and I just had veggies. And
Excellent.
I was fine with that. And
Yeah.
it was a test. It was my first test, but I came through with flying colours. And
how did they go? Did they rip you?
no, I think
Were they supportive?
Yeah, no, they respect me. They know,
That's good.
They know that
So they should. Yeah.
that through my military missions, that that's come at a cost. And so they know that I love growing organic veggies and fruit. So they haven't made that journey yet, but they respect my decision to do it.
And you may actually, through example, be able to educate them.
Well, my sister is a doctor. Her daughter's studying medicine. She's very pro. She's a new thinking doctor, and she gets organic kale from me, and she's. I don't know whether she's vegetarian yet, but she's very interested in health and diet. And so my sister's kids are all picking up on the organic stuff, and whenever they come to the farm, I make sure I load them up with a carton of organic produce to take back to their mother and father.
Excellent.
And they're making kale smoothies and banana smoothies.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so I do my subtle brainwashing through the children.
That's the way to do it.
It is.
Because, I mean, they haven't had society's entrenchment of indoctrination,
Absolutely.
forced on them.
That's why I'm doing the strawberry beds with these little toddlers.
Yes.
So that I'm starting them at the age of 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And they get so much joy out of picking their own strawberry and eating it that they'll want to have their own organic veggie garden in the backyard.
Yep.
And they'll want to grow organic strawberries in the backyard. And then they've started on the journey for life, then growing their own healthy
I
food.
bet that's what happens. I bet they go home to mum and dad and start pestering them.
They do.
They do?
Because
Yeah, that's a feedback you've had.
Everybody wants to build raised garden beds like David Freeman.
They are very nice raised garden beds. Yeah. And a comment there from Al says, well done. Christmas was the same for me, surrounded by my meat-eating family. It can be hard. Good on you for sticking with it and being a great example for your family. And Al also says, I taught my 2-year-old niece to say vegan. So,
Well done, Al.
That's good. Christmas was, you can see your comments is coming up there.
Well done to you, Al.
Christmas, well, actually, you probably don't, you mightn't be aware that my 78-year-old father and 76-year-old mother went vegetarian, not quite vegan yet, but went vegetarian. It'd be coming up to about probably 10 months ago now.
Really, mate?
Yeah. So,
Well
I mean, it took, this is my 37th year of being vegan. It took a long time for the example to get through to him, but
I got through now.
it got through. So Christmas meant that instead of sitting, the first Christmas ever, instead of sitting there with them and my brother and his family and everyone eating meat, it was just mum, dad, myself and my ex-wife all sitting together and having our vegan Christmas and just thinking, this is cool. I didn't think I'd see the day when I'd be sitting with my parents doing this.
I've got some hard work to do with my parents, but I'm working on it.
Well, it's still possible. I in their 70s, and my dad was already a fit man, surfing every day down at Currumbin Valley. So
right?
yeah, he's down there at 4 a.m. every morning. He's an early riser. Yeah,
Right.
he's down there on the surf ski paddling away. And my mum's out in the garden every day. He'll be 79 later this year, and he's just amazing. So this can only help him. Actually, he has trimmed up by going vegetarian, almost vegan. He's slimmed down, dropped it. He wasn't carrying much weight, but he's slimmed down.
I have too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've dropped 4 kilos.
Yeah, it just happens automatically.
It does, mate.
The body comes back to a more natural state of where it should be operating. So, so I'm just checking for comments.
Yeah, sure.
So, we will start winding up soon. So what haven't we discussed about Freeman's Organic Farm? Is there anything you can think of that we haven't spoken about? We've talked about the cancer, the farm tours.
Yeah, look, I think I'll just give a quick trace here. What I talk
Yes.
about on the farm tour is that
Okay.
as an organic farmer, we're very passionate about the soil and caring for it and nurturing it. So that beautiful rainforest soil, when it was cleared 100 years ago by Europeans, it had a pH of 7, so it was minerally neutral and balanced, but it had 20% organic matter. Modern agriculture, if you go over the Currumbin Plateau, where that's been over-farmed for 100 years, that red soil is now pink and it's like a powder and dust because it's had all the goodness bashed out of it over 100 years of farming and then chemical agriculture for 60 years. So the pH now on some of those soils at Currumbin Plateau is as low as 4.5.
Whoa.
And it's got 2% organic matter. So it's had the guts, the goodness, the biology knocked out. My soils that I've recreated are now back to 7 and 7.2 on the tennis court with 20% organic matter. So I've been able to recreate those soils in 3 years.
In 3 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, with the really poor quality soils that are down to 4.5 pH and 2% organic matter, how long can they get away with growing stuff in there? Because it's nutritionally
dead.
Yes, that's right.
They can only grow crops in that with chemicals. It's just really the soil is like cotton wool to hold it up.
Wow.
But the whole crop is just grown with chemicals from the pre-emergent to the spraying of the herbicide before the pre-emergent. Then during the whole life of the broccoli, they're sprayed 12 or 13 times, and then there's a post-harvest spray.
Whoa.
So, broccoli grown in the Lockyer Valley chemically, unfortunately, is, and I don't want to be melodramatic, but we've got to tell the truth. Is that the kids at Lady Solendo Royal Children's Hospital in Brisbane, there is a disproportionate percentage of kids there with leukemia. They all come from the Lockyer Valley, where agricultural chemicals are used.
Interesting. Wow, that's sad.
It is.
Wow. Yeah. So there could be a connection there.
Well, Rob Bauer, who's the biggest organic farmer up there, his father died at 58 from a cancer or leukemia caused by agricultural chemicals. So he was never prepared to go down that path. Yeah. And there's a cumulative build-up in your gut of the heavy chemicals. So
and your body gets to the point where it's like, well, there's no way I can detoxify this or process this, and it has to pull the plug. Yeah. Yeah. So this is very sad. And this is really important what David said about organic, choosing organic. And it's interesting for me because I was never, even being vegan for so long, never really big into organics until a few years back, and then I shifted to. I was unfortunately one of those supermarket fruit and veggie shoppers, and then I shifted to going to the markets and buying organic, and it's like big difference. That was a few years back. So and it's worth the investment in your health, guys. If it's going to cost a little bit more, I mean that's that versus what you're going to pay in ill health down the
shorter life
and a shorter lifespan,
and chronic disease,
and not only a shorter life but quality of life. If you've got a chronic disease, it's just so you have to. It's insurance. You have to invest a little bit, and it's insurance in your health. And if you haven't got your health, what have you got? It's actually a line out of a movie, but it's so true. If you haven't got your health, what have you got?
Absolutely.
So I want to mention before I'm going to start to wind up. I want to mention the competition, which is why I've got this stuff sitting here. The very generous giveaway from Prana On, which is running at the moment. So while I'm talking about this, I'm going to put this on camera, and hopefully you can see. This is the, what's it called? The Power Plant Protein. This is the Himalayan salted caramel. We're doing a giveaway. Now, you will be able to win a 1 kilo pack of this. This is only the 400 gram pack. Imagine how big the 1 kilo pack is. I can't lift it. So that's, there'll be one of these. There will also be an inner health trial pack, and there'll also be the Prana On shaker. You can hear that. So that's where you put your vegan protein powder. I don't know. Have you ever seen it?
No, I'd like to.
That's vegan protein powder.
Can I get hold of it?
I'll give you the details.
Right, mate.
Yeah,
good.
very easy. Actually, for anyone that's not aware, you can get a hold of this through health food stores like Flannery's, and I'm not sure if Ray Organics has it, but a lot of the health food stores have it. They have it down at the Pines.
Really?
health food store.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Right, okay.
so that's one place you can buy it online as well. So,
Right.
but this is organic. It's as you can see, it's raw, plant-based, alkaline, gluten-free, organic.
Good.
And it's actually their office is across the road.
Oh, brilliant.
So anyway, so there's $100 worth of value in the giveaway from Prana On. So the way that you go into the running to win the protein powder and the trial pack and the shaker is to share the vegan hour amongst your friends and your enemies and onto vegan forums and non-vegan forums to educate people. So share it. Now, Elle has put up the link. Thank you, Elle. She's put up the link for organic for Prana On. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Al.
Elle's done work for them, so she knows how good they are. And Chris says he loves his Prana On. Serena says, you can count on me to put a share in the regular groups I share into, Tasmanian vegans, friendly vegans in Melbourne, etc. Thank you, Serena. So yes, this live stream will be shared to quite a few different places. And also, within a couple of days, this live stream will be on my YouTube channel. So we're currently filming it with a second camera for YouTube right now. So it will be on there. And yeah, so that competition also, I should mention the Prana On competition, we will be giving that away in 2 weeks' time. I had to think about that. So 2 weeks' time. Talking about which, as I start to wind up, next week for episode 5 on Tuesday, February the 7th, I have vegan activist Brian Hall. Now, for this, Brian Hall is really well known on the Gold Coast community, and we're going to have a lot of fun. He has a lot of friends. He's got a heart of gold, and I'm looking forward to chatting with Brian next week. So it has been fascinating chatting with you tonight, David. I very much enjoyed having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you didn't mind coming along. And,
No, just sorry I got here a bit late.
It's all good. It's all water under the bridge. Extolling your wisdom and that, and I'm so happy that you're now on the vegan train.
I am, mate. I'm on the train.
You're on the train, and with your knowledge and compassion and all that, it can only just keep getting better and better. So I want to do a shout out again to Vegan Frothers and Burleytown Storage for sponsors, and also a big shout out to my favourite yoga studio, Yana Yoga, and Vegan Life, of course. So this has been episode 4 of the Vegan Hour on Tuesday, January the 31st, and I've been talking with David from Freemans Organic Farm. Join us next week. Thank you everyone also that's commented, and you can watch this live stream at any time on my page later on, and you can stay tuned for the YouTube video in a couple of days' time. So until then, guys, live vegan. And so, yes, he's been practicing. He's got the 2 feet. He's still got to work on the 4. No, not the 4. I mean the 2 to go. I know you've got to work on it. Yeah, but he's been practicing. And we're going out with Elle saying, thanks for a great show, Harry and David. Well done to you both. Catch you both again soon. Have a great night. And Serena says, love these shows, Harry. Another great episode. David is awesome. There's a lot of love being shown. It's really beautiful. So thanks again. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.